Okay, so Pokemon Legends Arceus has finally arrived. Is it the next step forward for the franchise, or is it a disappointment? Well, I streamed the start of my playthrough on the Friday it released, then I checked the in-game clock the following day on Saturday, and 17 hours had passed. So yeah, I'd say the game is pretty good. It cannot be understated how much of a breath of fresh air this game is for the Pokemon franchise. The gameplay perfectly blends Pokemon Go, traditional Pokemon games, and new ideas to make this the most addicting gameplay loop they've had in a very long time. But before we get into that, let's talk about the biggest issue with this game. You notice it as soon as you start the game, you can't ignore it. The game looks rough. There's aspects that are pretty good. The skyboxes always look nice for the most part. The designs and animations are pretty solid. Obviously, a lot of the animations have been used as X and Y, which came out in 2013, but there's some new ones mixed in that have fleshed them out. Things like sitting and sleeping look nice. They're new additions. But seriously, change some of these idle poses. You made Cyndaquil look good again. Just keep going. Why does Chimchar move like this? The NPC animations are all just fine. There's nothing really to write home about, but there's also nothing as awkward as the Sword and Shield cutscenes, where some of them were just really over-animated and begged for some form of voice acting. This game doesn't really reach that high as far as the presentation goes, but I think it's better for it because it knows its scope. And so it just overall, as far as animation goes, looks better. Really, it's the environments that are the worst offenders graphically. Every environment in this game is muddy and muted and uninteresting. And don't even get me started on the draw distance. Just look at that grass. Like, what is going on? All of the areas are kind of homogenous. They all kind of look about the same. They just kind of change the slider on where the water is, where the mountains are, and where the fields are, and where there's snow. All 5 areas of the game have caves, forests, ruins, lakes, mountains, etc., but they don't really do anything special with them. It leaves them all feeling kind of unimpressive. Sludge Mound is a place that you go to in the story for one fight, and then for the rest of the game, it's just an uninhabited circle. They could have had something where every evening a few Pokemon like Ursaring or Hippowdon come here to spar, and you could throw your Pokemon into the ring for a tough 3v1 fight, but things like that don't really exist in Legends Arceus. You're not going to find Bidoof building dams, Ponyta galloping through the fields, Weasel playing in a river, or anything. That level of ambition just isn't there, and it's the biggest improvement I think that they can make moving forward. You have the world, you have the Pokemon in the world, now kiss. Alright, I really wanted to start the video with the things that I think needed improvement beforehand because I actually really like this game. Catching Pokemon is so addictive and fun. While the Pokemon don't really feel like they're doing too much in the world, they're just kind of standing there. The amount of interaction you have with them feels better than ever. Throwing balls from cover, battling without a transition, calling out your Pokemon for a board meeting.
Look, Pim, I know it's our job to help this guy and everything, but I think this guy's a lost cause. He's obviously made up his mind. Why don't we just cut our losses and get out of here?
Stunning Pokemon, dodging their attacks, using a smokescreen, using a flashbang, using bait. There's just a lot of options at your disposal to catch or defeat Pokemon, and it all loops back to the Pokédex. You see, in this game, the whole goal isn't to become the champion and beat other trainers and get badges and all that other stuff. No, this game starts out with you were just laying in bed, and you saw on your caller ID that God was calling, and so of course you picked up the phone. Then you get flung back in time, and now you have to fill out a Pokédex for the first time ever with a pen and paper. You're in the Survey Corps now, and your whole job is to document all kinds of Pokemon all over the world. From catching and defeating them, to seeing them battle with certain moves, to seeing them fight in certain styles, to defeating them with certain moves, scaring them with flashbangs, feeding them, sneaking up on them. There's a lot of depth to the Pokédex, and I kind of love it. Doing all of these different things raises your entry level, and when it gets to level 10, it's considered complete. But even with completed Pokédex entries, you really feel inclined to catch pretty much every Pokemon that you see, because catching also gains experience, and it's just fun. It's just fun to just kind of chuck a ball at a Pokemon's head from behind when they're not seeing it coming. I honestly wish they went a little bit further with what you could do with the Pokédex to fill it out. I'm talking like new Pokemon Snap levels of interaction. But that would require raising the ambition to what I mentioned earlier. Also, you'd probably need a camera. Like, obviously, you'd still need to catch Pokemon for a Pokédex entry, it's a Pokemon game, but documenting behavior for wildlife is an important part of research. I'm just saying. Plus, I won't have that issue that new Pokemon Snap has where they want you to do something very specific, but the game is on rails, so you can lead this Shinx to its mom, but if you don't snap the picture in the exact way the game wants you to, you just have to keep trying until you get it. In the real world, you're not on rails. You can take your time. Don't ask me to perfect the Pokemon page though, because yeah, seeing a Pokemon use a signature move a few times is neat, but do I really need to see it 20 plus times? That's a bit excessive. When you're not grinding for Pokédex entries, battling is actually just as fun as catching Pokemon in this game. Gone are the slow battles from every previous Pokemon game. Screen transition, send out a Pokemon, select a move, do a move, watch the HP go down, opponent does a move, watch their HP go down, Pokemon faints, EXP gains, battle ends, battle fades out. Now it's battle starts, hit, faints. No waiting on HP bars to slowly decrease, no waiting on status effect animations to stop. This is real, by the way. Every 3D Pokemon game does this. If you select a move where poison bubbles are on the screen, the battle will not progress until those bubbles disappear. Whenever you feel that weird delay in a battle, this is probably it. You just haven't been paying attention. There's just no wait time in this game. You just throw a ball and you fight, and there you go. Even EXP is done in the background. You don't even have to wait for it. It's just on a little sidebar right there. It's nice. The battles also added the strong style and agile styles, and they're neat additions. They don't really feel overpowered, and I only really used them when I felt like it gave me an edge. And likewise, enemies would do the same. There's some fights where an enemy will use an agile style move just so that they can use a strong style move and kill one Pokemon. Their goal is not to win. Their goal is to make you faint. The worst part of this battle system is that sometimes you'll get into 3v1 scenarios, and then it's like, is your turn done yet? And then sometimes you'll get hit 5 times in a row, and then you just faint. I have not had Pokemon faint this much in a game since I had first learned how to play Pokemon. Seriously, it just happens a lot in this game. Even when my Pokemon are twice as strong as the wild ones, they'll still take half of my health when they do a super effective move. And likewise, if you have a not very effective move, they'll tank it. I also blacked out more in this game than any other Pokemon game. It was mainly due to things like the noble battles though, where the game switches from being a Pokemon game to a Dark Souls game, baby's first Dark Souls game. And these battles, you just have to dodge and learn attack patterns while throwing potpourri at a big angry Pokemon to make it smell good. I blacked out once or twice on pretty much all of these besides Cleavor, and weirdly enough, the last fight, like the final boss of the main story, was really easy for some reason. Like I didn't die there, and it was really underwhelming of an ending, by the way. Just be aware of that. This isn't counting the post game, by the way. The only other time I blacked out though was during a space time rift. These are map events where rare items and powerful Pokemon spawn, and if you're lazy, you can easily black out. I was lazy. Actually, that's not true. Since writing the script, I didn't black out, but there's an event that you do to catch Fion and Manaphy, and the Fion just would not stay in the ball and wiped out my whole team. I didn't black out, but all of my Pokemon fainted. It's the only time, except for the final super fight at the end, where I lost all of my Pokemon. It was kind of crazy and very annoying. Overall, my favorite thing about this game is how much things have been simplified and given quality of life features. I mentioned how battles and catching are the best they've ever been, but quality of life features go even further beyond this. Pokemon just keep every move they know now. You can only use 4 in battle, but gone are the days where you had to decide whether it's worth it to remove a utility move for more coverage. If you teach your Pokemon a move and then realize, wait, actually this move isn't super great, you can just put the old one back. It's something that as a Pokemon player I never really thought about because that's how it's always been, but now that the changes have been made, I think, why hasn't it always been like this? I'd be fine with TMs never returning if we had somewhere to permanently teach your Pokemon moves like in this game. Heck, I'd be fine with HMs returning if they didn't take up a slot and they were just teachable out-of-battle skills like this. It makes sense, actually, to have people who teach skills based on your current trainer experience versus finding a disc that lets you cut trees. I've always loved the concept of HMs, using your Pokemon to interact with the world, and with this system you could actually do it without needing to summon your resident beaver and without taking up a move slot. Instead of HMs, this game has ride Pokemon, like in Sun and Moon. I do like the ride Pokemon, and they have some plot significance, but I just don't think anything will compete with being able to ride your own Pokemon like in Let's Go. Yeah, it's cool that I'm riding the Sacred Bear of Mud Mountain, but is it really cooler than riding my Sacred Bear of being really, really big? No. No, it's not. This game is really fun and full of so much potential for the future of Pokemon, and I hope Gamefreak doesn't do the thing they did after X and Y where they basically said, oh, Good Online was a feature exclusive to X and Y. Sorry. They're really good at taking the one step forward, one step back approach to game design, but for once, this feels like a complete move forward. If they just add some more depth to the world, maybe add abilities and hell add and backs to the combat, and update the graphics past the GameCube era, then maybe we could be looking at a truly evolved Pokemon franchise. Also, I guess make the battles multiplayer compatible next time. It's really weird that you can't fight other players in this game, but with the sequential battle system, it makes sense that they didn't want to really try to make that work. Now, did you know that only 1% of the people who watch these videos are subscribed?